picked up the lunchbox from the floor and apologized again, admitting it was all his fault. He offered her money as compensation and said, "If you need, I can get you another portion." However, Xiaoning, still irritated, replied, "1 yuan doesn't make a difference to anyone, just don't bother me again. Next time, watch where you're going, or if you get hit by a car crossing the street. Whose fault will it be?" she advised sternly. Li Xulai, upon hearing Xiaoning's words, simply said, "All right, you're a good person," and then drifted back into his thoughts. Considering how young Fei Long's problems had been reported by the media many times in his past life, seeing Li Xulai so nonchalant, Xiaoning's friend was surprised and said, "No way, is he crazy to just leave like that? Did he not understand your sarcasm?" Xiaoning was also confused, thinking, "I can tell it's a hard-to-get game, but is he really still playing it? His skin is really thick." Her friend then suggested, "Could he have actually lost interest in you? He didn't even look at you. In the past, he'd cling to you and rush to help you with everything. Now, he just throws money at the problem." Xiaoning, getting angrier, replied, "Maybe because I pointed out his intentions, it must have hurt his pride." She told her friend to wait, while she went to get another meal, thinking, "Is this game fun for you? Do you really think I'd fall for such little tricks?" A moment later, at the cafeteria dining area, Xiaoning approached Li Xulai and said, "I have something to tell you." Li Xulai, surprised, asked, "What is it?" Xiaoning's cheeks turned red as she started to blush, stammering, You still ask me what it is?" Frustrated, she then snapped, "Nothing, just eat your food." She thought to herself, "I hope you choke on it." Li Xulai, unfazed, simply told Xiaoning to eat as well, before turning back to his food and notes. Xiaoning sat down, watching him intensely focus on his books, paying no attention to her. She thought, "What's wrong with him? I've been sitting here for 3 minutes, and he's only focused on shoveling food and looking at his notebook. He's really holding back from saying a word to me." Suddenly, Li Xulai noticed something and looked up. Xiaoning thought, "Is he about to burst and talk to me now?" But then she realized he wasn't looking at her. Curiously, she wondered who he was looking at. As he turned, she saw a girl with blonde hair. Zhang Shuili, Xiaoning thought. So he's fallen for someone else. Zhang Shuili dresses up flashy every day, and her family is rich. Indeed, there aren't many men who don't like that kind of woman, Xiaoning sneered. A toad cannot dream of eating swan meat. Do you even know what kind of person Zhang Shuili is? Li Xulai, in your next life, be born into a better family if you want to pursue someone like her. Li Xulai calmly replied, You misunderstand, but I don't need to explain it to you. He finished his meal and said to Xiaoning, You can do as you please. I'm leaving. Xiaoning was taken aback by his response and retorted, Don't be too much. What Xiaoning didn't understand was that Li Xulai wasn't looking at Zhang Shuili because he liked her. It was because of what he remembered from his previous life. Professor Guo's life was completely ruined by Zhang Shuili's scheming. Not only did she destroy his career, but she also used her wealth and influence as a second-generation rich kid to twist the truth, bribe the media, and force him into a corner. Even his wife and child's lives were affected. They were ostracized, judged at work and school, and publicly shamed. To prove his innocence, Professor Guo had pleaded to the media, insisting that throughout his life he had been loyal to his wife, responsible toward his students, devoted to his son, and diligent in his work, always upholding his principles. Yet he ended up as the target of destructive rumors, which spread like wildfire. Professor Guo, unable to clear his name, chose death as a means to prove his innocence, hoping to be remembered as an honest man. In his final words, he declared that he had never coerced or sexually harassed any student. He had no regrets in life, except for the pain he had caused his wife and child. After saying those last words, he jumped from the college building in front of everyone. When Li Xulai arrived at the scene back then, he saw only the tragic sight of a falling body. The heartbreak he felt was indescribable. The professor's wife and child also witnessed everything, their hearts shattered. Unable to bear the loss, the professor's wife later committed suicide, leaving their 10-year-old son to be raised by others. A good family was destroyed just like that. But the real culprit, Zhang Shuili, was enjoying her life without a care in the world. She scoffed. That old man thought proving his innocence by dying would affect me? How laughable. Her friends agreed, saying, Exactly. Besides, he was already old. Sooner or later, he would have died anyway. Dying earlier just saves on burial costs. Zhang Shuili felt no remorse, knowing that whatever happened, her father could handle it with money. It's better he's dead, no evidence left. Life is precious. Why seek death? She added callously. Li Shulai, who had overheard everything by chance, felt a surge of anger. Zhang Shuili, you may never die well, he thought. Coming back to the present, he reflected, pursue her. Why would I pursue her? Not only will I not pursue her, but I'll also make her pay for her crimes. Xiaoning, noticing the anger on Li Shulai's face, grew frightened. Li Shulai, noticing her reaction, said, I know what you think of me. You believe I liked you, but now I don't, and you think I've turned my attention to another woman. That's why you're upset and sarcastic with me. He then asked her, in the finance industry we study, do you know what's most important? Xiaoning replied confidently, of course I know. These are basic concepts from class, forward-looking vision and persistent perseverance. Li Shulai laughed. Wrong, it's liquidity funds. Without liquidity, the capital market collapses. He continued explaining, the financial wizards you'll meet in the future. Their success largely depends on risk management and optimizing their liquidity. Whether it's stocks, bonds, futures, or derivatives, the principle is the same. As he spoke, Xiaoning found herself lost in his words. What on earth is this guy talking about, she wondered, but at the same time, it seems to make a lot of sense. Li Shulai advised her, just burying your head in books will make you a bookworm. You should start thinking about more serious things.
Presenting the complete version of the video. In the final section, we clarified that the ratio is 1:2, 2 representing half. The video is now ready for an exciting viewing experience.